Hello YouTube. Welcome back. This is the second video in the build of the Vans RV-14 elevators. Today we'll be working on the end ribs and creating some foam trailing edge ribs, as you see highlighted here. These end ribs are like bigger than I expected them to be, but everything's turning out to be bigger than I expect it to be in this build. They send you a box of parts and you sort of slowly assemble them into these much larger pieces. I mean, again, I guess eventually you're going to have airplane parts sitting around. So, got to find some storage for those. In fact, I think I'm going to be hanging some of these control surfaces in the ceiling in the other room. So yeah, these are what we left off with on the last one. We sort of create these end ribs and then match drill, or I'm sorry, not match drill, final drill all the pieces of that sort of flappy skin that goes around them to the ribs that go in the inside. So here we're doing crafting. Van sends you this page of the instructions that literally is meant to be cut out. And then I'm sort of bugging my wife to ask her where her spray adhesive is. And so we just spray the pieces of foam and attach the paper templates to them. And those paper templates have drawings on them for cutouts for the trailing edge ribs that that will cut out of them. The point of this is that the very trailing edge of the elevator is pretty far back on the airplane. It needs to be somewhat strong to resist crushing if you're to squeeze it or something like that, but it doesn't necessarily need rivets. So Vans had the great idea to use these sort of foam blocks in there, foam wedges realistically, to save on weight and still provide some structure. I cut them out with the bandsaw and then I started using the belt sander on them, and this PVC foam is really hard. I was very surprised at how much it did not sand on the belt sander, so I went back to the bandsaw, and we'll see that probably in a minute here, that it just said, oh, to heck with it. And just cut them a lot closer on the bandsaw and then just do a little bit of final touch up on the belt sander. I could use the disc on the side. I need to attach a new piece of sandpaper to that though. Oh yeah, and the dust from these things, holy moly, it gets everywhere. I got the vacuum attached to the back of the bandsaw. I had the vacuum attached to the exhaust port on the belt sander too, and it still was just getting everywhere. That's why I keep the shop vac around. Aluminum shavings, foam shavings, whatever. Building this stuff makes a mess. But you can kind of see the collection of foam trailing edge ribs accumulating there. And then what do we do? Oh, I think I'm just sort of. Oh, yeah. I didn't put this in the graphic at the beginning, but that's the trim tab. So, uh, and it comes with a little bit that needs to be cut off so that they can bend it at the factory without you having to bend it at home. It's pretty thin. The same goes for the rest of the elevator construction. The metal is 16 thousandths thick, and it's very much easy to mess up if you do it wrong. And so then we have to bend these closeout tabs on the skin where the trim tab sort of sits in there. So I just sort of put it on some wood blocks and hammered it over, and then I used my little 90-degree bender to make sure it's 90 degrees. In the next video, we'll be starting the sort of pre-construction. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.